Back when we were going to Pat and Benny's church, I'd see all these people stand up, and they would all have testimonies and all this, and I'm sitting back there, behind everybody. I don't have a testimony. Nothing's ever happened to me, Must have a sheltered life or something, Never been to prison, never been an alcoholic, never done drugs, so, I didn't have no much to say. Well, God changed that. I've already died once. We almost died again. So, but to put a little humor in it, I'll do the last one. We went to West Texas. We got an old motorhome, 1994. It's an oldie but a goodie. And we've restored it, remodeled it, all kinds of stuff. And I got a Hummer, and I hooked onto the back of it, and man, we take off. We're headed out to Pecos area out in West Texas. And there's you should always listen to the little clues that God gives you when you're doing something. It's not always loud. It's usually real subtle. So we're getting ready to go, and I'm hustling. I'm getting everything packed up, and we're getting it all loaded. And Sherry's doing other things, and I go, we got to do the Obamacare thing. We can't leave until we upload our taxes, and all this stuff. So we get all that done, and we go, there's a couple more bills we got to pay. So we're like 5 hours late leaving, it's like 7 o'clock at night. We're going anyway. We're going. So we get in the truck, get everything hooked up. Man, we're cruising. We're heading over, we go by Conroe and head around on the north side. And I pull up to a stoplight and change the screen, and everything's cool. We take off. It's like, I feel like I'm dragging an anchor, man. I don't know what's going on. And then it starts to rain. I'm still dragging an anchor in the rain. And then a windshield wiper breaks. The windshield wiper blade itself just breaks. It's like, brand new. What's the deal, Not listening. So we cruise up and we go over to a Walmart. And I buy a new wiper blade. And then I find out that my back brakes on the RV locked up. I was like, what's up? So I make a couple phone calls, and my cousin works for Ford, so he comes out and says, hey, just tap on your master cylinder, it'll be all right. I said, okay. I tap on the master cylinder. Works great. We take off. Man, we're cruising down the road. No problem, we're cruising. Get to Elgin, pull off, we stop, spend the night. Everything's cool. Get up, take off the next morning, everything's cool. Get to Austin, and we go down through Austin, it's all good, and we pull up, and we go up this little hill, the stop sign, and I roll up there, and I roll backwards and stop. I'm like, ooh, that didn't sound good. Again, my brakes locked up in Austin. Not listening. Gotta listen. So, we take off, man, I'm just dragging everything. I'm dragging everything, And we're on this freeway, and there's no place to pull off. No exits, no nothing. And I can smell the brakes, man. They're smoking. And we finally get there, and I'm pumping the brakes every chance I get, just to break them loose. And all of a sudden, they finally break loose, and we take off. We're good. All right, man, we're going to make it all the way now. So we make it to our destination. And it's getting late at night. It's getting about 8 o'clock at night. We're in the middle of the desert. Anybody out there in West Texas lately? Ain't nothing out there.
That's right.
There ain't a light, nothing.
We're headed to Mount Locke in an observatory. It's 6,700 feet, and it's 16 miles from the base to the top. Where we're going. No lights.
There's nothing. So we're cruising. And sure enough, I passed the exit to the observatory. Like, somebody ain't listening still. So I get in there, and I have to drive 5 miles, find a place to turn this bus around, So we turn around, we come back. I hit the exit, we go on up. So, all right, this is cool. So we're cruising down the road, and we see the sign, just deer crossings, caution. That's cool, Big old tall fence on each side. It's all right, we'll be all right. We're cruising, and sure enough, the 6-point buck jumps that fence, runs out to the road, stops, looks at me, and I get even with him, and he slams into the side of my RV. Bam! It didn't kill him, but I bet it gave him a headache. because he slammed that truck.
Yeah.
And I looked at Sherry, I said, can you believe that? A buck hit my truck. What is the deal, you know? And God throwing animals at us now to stop us? You know, come on. So we're not listening. We're not listening. So we go, okay, we're going to make it to this observatory, man. My wife wasn't been going there. She's made 3 trips and she hadn't made it yet. Every time there's been a problem, they can't make it up at the observatory. So man, I'm going, man. I'm going. So man, we're cruising and we hit some hills, you know. Like, yeah, all right, we can do this. So we hit another hill. Okay. Then we hit a hill. You know, I'm dragging a Hummer, 5,000-pound truck on my 12,000-pound RV. I'm old Ford screaming, you know. I'm going up there. And we go up and we hit this little hill. And then it has a curve. So, you know, it's like, drop it down, put it on the floor, let's go. You know, I look at her and go, man, this truck's all right. This got some power, man. I got it on the floor. Baby, this is all I got. I ain't got no more. And we're going. We get around the corner and it goes up another low hill. And then we top that hill. And then we go downhill. Problem is, my accelerator is stuck on the floor. And it won't come up. And we're going downhill and I got both feet on the brake. Pushing as hard as I can to keep them going off the edge of this mountain. We're about 4,500 feet up now. There's a cliff over here and a mountain on this side. No place to pull off. So she's over there praying and talking in tongues and doing everything she can. And God is keeping me calm. I'm not getting excited. My eyes probably got that big. She said they were. I was looking at her like, we're in trouble, honey. But I didn't get upset. I didn't get nervous. I didn't get scared. Because I knew God was there to pull me out of this problem, you know? So I'm hitting the floor, you know, pedal, trying to stop it. Every time we hit a mountain, I hit the gas pedal, trying to break it loose. And then we pass this little sign that says pull off with an arrow right here as we pass. It wasn't a mile down the road. It was here. So I missed that one. I said, uh-oh. Hopefully there's another one. So we're going and going and up and down hills for another mile before we see another pull-off. My brakes are smoking again because I'm going downhill full throttle. And we finally hit this last hill just before the pull-off. And I'm hitting the accelerator, trying to break it loose. And about the time we see the sign that says pull-off, I hit the pedal, it broke loose, we slowed down, I jumped across all the lanes, and slammed on the brakes and hopped out of that bus. I had to walk around for a minute, boy. My knees were a little nervous, a little weak. So I checked everything out, and everything was good. And I turned to my wife and said, you're not going to make it to the observatory again this year. So we turned right around, we headed back down the mountain, everything was fine. So if I would have listened to the little clues that God has given me, I probably wouldn't have been in that situation. If I'd have stopped at the deer, instead of making a right at that next intersection, made a left, would have been good. But we made it back all safe and sound, and we survived.
Amen.
So just listen to what God tells you, and you'll be all right.